Hello everyone, my name's Rob Webb and welcome to another photography in the home video. This week I'm not going to be flying a drone over the South Downs to some nice orchestral music. We're actually going to do some flash photography. We've been looking at the theme of high or low key, and I'm going to show how to get a high and low key shot using just two lights, a dividing board and a grey wall. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So let's talk about the camera. For this week, I'm going to be using the X100T. Great little Fuji camera, fixed lens. It's fantastically sharp, but it's also nice and small and light. For this shot, I'm going to be shooting at f2.8 with a shutter speed of 1/250th of a second, which is roughly flash sync speed for these Godox flashes. It's also got a wireless remote plugged in, just to make life easier for me, because I'm going to be the subject. I need to be able to trigger the shutter without having my hand up on the camera. It's also got the Godox flash transmitter on the top. This can let me set the flash power if I need to, but obviously I can't do that when I'm actually going to be the subject. So, as mentioned, there are two flashes being used in this shot. The first one is the Godox Wistro AD180. This is sitting on top of the work surface. It's bare bulbed, so it has no flash modifier on it at all. And I'm pointing it almost directly at the divider. Now hopefully that will mean no spill goes over the top of the divider and hits the wall on the other side. I want all the light being reflected back this way to turn this wall white. Now that flash is currently set at 132 power. That's a rough guess from me as to what will make this wall turn white while not blowing out all of the hair on my head when I take the shot. We also have this AD360 with a snoot. This is currently set at its lowest power, which is 1/128. This is going to be to my right, so it's somewhere off the side of the camera where you can't see. I'll be sitting down there and it will be pointing straight across me. Now because it's in this snoot, all the light will come out in a reasonably straight beam. So there should be no spill to either side. It should hit me square on the side of the head, light the one side of my face, but leave this side dark. So the idea of the shot is everything on this side is high key and lit by the two flashes. Everything on the other side of the divider is dark and low key and not lit by anything apart from possibly a bit of spill across the side of my nose and across my forehead from this flash, and maybe a little bit back behind from hitting the wall and coming back. Okay, so I'm in position now, got the light all set up. As you can see, the camera is quite close to my face, and because we're shooting at quite a narrow f-stop, this is going to create a really shallow depth of field, and I really want that kind of effect for this kind of shot. If you've got too deep a depth of field in this kind of image, I don't think it works as well. I really want to be kind of sharp across my eyes and then gradually going out of focus back towards my ears, and it should be fully out of focus by the time it hits the wall behind me. That will make it easier to process, so there's no imperfections visible in the wall. They'll all be blurred out. So I'm going to take a couple of test shots now, maybe play with the flash power, and then we'll get into some processing once I've done that. Okay, so this is Lightroom now. As you can see, sometimes a plan does come together. This is pretty much exactly what I was aiming for when I visualised the shot. It's got a nice white overexposed area here and a nice black underexposed area on the other side. If we look at the histogram, you can see that there's just this tiny bit up here where it's not absolutely black. So we can fix that quite easily with an adjustment brush. Just paint round. And now pretty much all of that side is black enough. We don't take it too dark around my head. I think it'll look silly if the entire side of my face is in blackness. We want to keep a little bit of texture in there just for the low-key shot. So let's have a look at the other side of the histogram.
and you can see that just in that bottom corner it's not quite as blown out as it could be, so we'll just do the opposite and paint in some overexposure down there. It wasn't particularly visible in the shot, and again, don't want to go too close to my head because we'll really start to blow these highlights, which are, although they're not totally blown out because they're not showing up in the histogram, they are pretty close to being blown out highlights. The only other thing I think I want to do with this is slightly change the crop. I'm not quite even in the shot. I just need to move this black side over ever so slightly, just to put myself square in the middle of the frame. I think that's about right. I'll just push this into Photoshop now, and I just want to run the blur tool enhancement trick that I like to do on portraits over this, just to see if it makes any difference. So let's have a quick, let's just duplicate these layers a couple of times. You can either right click and duplicate, or Control J or Command J on the Mac, and we'll put it into a new folder, both of those images. Change the blend mode of the folder to overlay, and the first layer to vivid light, and then we'll invert that layer by Control I or Command I on the Mac. The image goes back to how it was. Then we go filter, blur, surface blur. Find where we are on the image. My nose, unattractive. So keeping the radius and the threshold really low, I'm actually going to leave them both at 9. Just click OK and let it run. And in this you can actually see it does make quite a difference, particularly on my eye and round here. Now I don't want it to be pulling that much back on here. So what I'm going to do is create a layer mask on the folder, making sure I'm set to black with a reveal layer mask, and hide up here, just so it pushes it back into shadow a bit. I don't want as much light as it was putting on it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So Control Shift and E to flatten those back down, and then Control and S to put it back into Lightroom. That's pretty much as far as I'm going to go with this. This is actually a much shorter video than I was intending it to be, which is good. Sometimes, very sometimes, a shot actually works how you intend it to work. You don't need to do a lot of editing, and it just comes out absolutely perfect. So thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment if you have any, and I'll speak to you again soon.